Greetings and salutations, my operators, and welcome back to the Great Aceattorney Chronicles. Last time I played this was, I'm pretty sure when it came out, which was like 3-4 years ago? It's been a while. So I'm just gonna start a whole new game, because I vaguely remember the first case. I mean, it's the tutorial case, so. So yeah, we'll start the first case again. I don't think it was that long. Oh right, had cutscenes.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
The adventure of the Great Departure. (22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I am this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities! Look at you! You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha! There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by students. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive. Considering he's still... What the... Why that oblong? Considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes. That's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring a change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. Well, we'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Oh. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal this case has personal significance to me. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To his To his Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe? Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Sogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you no doubt heard, Sogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it! I swear! I'm not a murderer! I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will propose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court must begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Ah, it would seem our... Damn. Surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Osogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dream of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embark on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. (22nd November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. Judicature. I really just didn't look this up. I know I've heard this before, I just can't freaking remember how to pronounce it.
Judicature.
Oh, it's judicature. Judicature.
Judicature.
Judicature. Okay, so I did actually get it right. Ish. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryosuke. It's about to begin. The court will now hear the trial of Ryosuke Naruhodo.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency!
As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for a final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Answer I do. I'll defend myself. Your Excellency, there's no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing right here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate.
Yes!
What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? Where are you playing at, Ryosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just now, before the trial. You did what? Said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. Please. What we do privately is between us. No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still. Try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Oh, I can't, like, adjust the volume of this, like, super loud. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Rinosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of R. If you ever find yourself you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. John H. Wilson, 47. The victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Huh. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities? Is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and trees won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How does this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Rinosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? By how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Now do it! Do it now! Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. It was caused by a loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body.
Yes!
Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Yeah, sorry, yes. That's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. I believe it stole this victim's soul. As you can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powdered explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's the photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to the drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly, you're a defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but... Any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control cold stares first. And control the cold stares first.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called La Carnival.
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some,
It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
Well, it really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. A grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago.
Actually, I don't know what the word means. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident.
At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring, maybe. But aspiring?
It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes! Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection! I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur.
But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Rinosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Ugh.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Staying beside the victim with his gun in hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around that table?
What's the matter, Rinosuke?
That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table.
Really?
And that's not something the wearer could have missed. I've been worried about interjecting, but still, what should I do?
Wait and see for crossing the examination?
I desperately wanted to say something, but I was just told not to interject.
Rinosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who diligently get to work, aren't you?
I suppose I am.
I never have got into Yume University otherwise. You can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright? You scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection! Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Oh, so Naga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like. Have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court would take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered to the court record. The head waiter's business card, a sketch of the restaurant's layout, is on the back.
So, the court has now heard a precise...
Wait, it's not precise. That's precise? How does that even mean? I'm learning so many words now. I guess it's the origin of precise? A précis.
Précis.
A short written or spoken account of something which gives the important points but not details. Huh. Précis. It's French apparently. Well, French dropped to English. Neat.
So, the court has now heard a précis of the case.
Yes. At the moment of the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your enable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual. About these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face. Is that... What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Rinosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. And we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecution... Ouchie. Just read that. Please continue with proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever! The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Isa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employee as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquities from efflorescence of our nation Nippon. I conduct my trade from Raisute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio Korikuta at your service. Antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea at the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, the sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's impossible to understand the other. I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said.
So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead.
Yes.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable?
If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your foremost testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Yes, sir. Stand by, ready to report, sir.
Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At the precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgiving enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad of light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Rinosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I had finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now!
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the victim... What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? What did you say? Declare the verdict of this trial. That's not it. That's it. The defense demands its right to a cross-examination.
Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh?
Huh? How do you know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to cross-examination. Therefore, whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant.
Kazuma is so commanding.
Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright. Alright. This is where the battle really begins, Rinosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Is it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements.
How?
You didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said has to be a lie.
Well, yes, but...
It's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence.
Right. Evidence.
All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Rinosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. What the witnesses saw.
Yes! What? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask.
Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then. This beef steak you mentioned. What kind of food is that?
Tangent! Beef steak is a delicious cut of veal, previously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet.
Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that?
Tangent! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it!
Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of whack crying noise?
Negative!
Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. As of, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban, boy. Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with said item secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hope of an affluent, cognizant appraised of its indisputable value being present. So you're hoping to sell your Koban coin? To Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant?
Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You're about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so?
Well...
You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Bleed! Subordination!
No, I didn't say anything. Although, panelist might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect.
I see. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. Yes!
So you're saying that you actually saw me at the time?
Affirmative! I saw you, laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian.
But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please.
What's that part of it?
Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table.
And so what if it was?
Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun.
Arrgh! And double arrgh! My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of Murr's energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means... a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet.
Surely that's not really possible.
Is it? Do you think I'd have got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense the danger in the air, son?
Well... it would seem the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good.
That black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes!
So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was...
Ugh! I've had just about enough of your sauce, Cadet. Who else do you see around here in a black uniform,
Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description well, but...
It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on the man. And from the back. And you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me.
What is it, Rinosuke?
I'm not quite sure. Something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind.
In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness had just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it. Like I do to you every night. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Yes!
On your hands and knees? Could you explain that, please?
That's right. Spurning the arthritis, I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? The Koban, of course. The exquisite Hoei-era Koban coin. I'd just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished.
The Koban vanish?
Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than... No, it was no concern of mine. I was frankly scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure.
So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred.
Indeed, myself, I did not.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here.
Listen, Rinosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them.
I understand that. The question is, how?
Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You examine and present evidence while witnesses giving a testimony by pressing R. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence, and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency.
An inconsistency.
where you find the statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other. Present your evidence with X, and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart, and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record, and find an inconsistency with a witness testimony. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statements over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head, and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Yeah, prevent from shot from the front.
Yes!
What? Where are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir? I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this just proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. It's so frustrating.
Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court.
Kazuma, what? What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant Isa Nosa.
Yes, sir. What, sir?
The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because...
Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it?
Oh, What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again.
Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa?
Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly affixed on the delicious carnival steak, sir. What?
The last testimony the court heard was proven one thing. Alright, blah, blah, blah. The last testimony the court has... Wow. The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Isa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
Arg, that's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Arg. Arg. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That you risk it there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot, either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. A gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Oh, yes. You were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you?
Indeed. The prize Hoei era kobold. Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me! Out of interest, did you find that coin in... Did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei kobold was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryonosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegations. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. This is the newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Aido.
It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to forward than any.
I know. Tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
The true culprit.
Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black youthful cadet could have dispatched the Englishmen. Over and out.
Yes!
Hey, when I do that. These testimonies are certainly compelling.
Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at this table. You must have seen her. Everyone must have seen her. I'm not crazy.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We're not here to listen to your fancies. Ugh. It is evidence beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel?
Indeed, at the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As you can plainly see, there's only one place set.
Certainly. Based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else.
This doesn't make any sense.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print with of the crime scene has been added to the court record. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table.
I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman.
The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well.
But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw the woman with him.
It would seem we will be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takisuchi Ouchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Rinosuke. It's not over yet.
What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination.
I don't know, Kazuma.
The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times.
Ugh. The true culprit.
Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes!
No. It's not the same thing at all.
For a start, I didn't fire the gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink?
How could I?
And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Have what?
Tangent!
The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you? And let's not forget that the antiquities dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san?
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was. That young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at the time, at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could have explained it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
Ugh. If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. So what do you expect? Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
Here's a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hotep Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation could be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really had no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Rinosuke?
Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really.
Remember, you request for it to be entered in the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? There, ask for it to be submitted.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of no concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend.
Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record.
The victim's medical report card has been entered into the court record.
What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first.
Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korekuta-san.
Alright. Can't look at it, huh? Doesn't seem like that's all. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dying alone? That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in.
Some of the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let's not forget the incontestable evidence that we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No.
The antiquities dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they are all lying. But if so, then why?
If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What do you say, cadet?
I clearly remember.
There's a woman sitting across the table from the professor.
Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you who have failed to see the professor's dining companion,
It's just not possible.
Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone.
Sorry?
The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone.
That's right. Precisely! In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It's a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that.
Excellent work, Ronosuke. We've gleaned some new information now.
Well, yes, but I don't feel like it's changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light.
I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before.
Oh, you mean this?
Yes. This is a brand new piece of evidence.
So perhaps we should examine it
in a little more detail.
How exactly?
You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use right stick to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the L stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't anything new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use right stick and left stick and A to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. It says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics. Almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Brr, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. I don't want to miss anything. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there would be no point. So, you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient, with a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bare medicine indeed. Okay, don't know what I gotta achieve with that. Let's have a look. There's some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day of the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I have heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure. Until anesthetics effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and had been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you?
Definitely.
Okay, Alright. Okay, oh, I can't save. Yeah, I guess I'll do it. 2021, and 4 years since I played this. Alright. I'm gonna save it there, and we'll continue on next time. Because it is getting late for me, I got stuff to do, and bed to sleep in. Until then, thank you everyone for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye! I completely forgot this case.